Welcome to the Greenely Library. My name is Danielle Applebaum, and I am the Scholarly Communication Librarian at the Thomas D. Greenely Library. Today I'll be showing you several resources that will be especially helpful as you go through RAM 201. By the end of this brief video, you'll be able to identify and apply strategies for narrowing a broad topic, identify the characteristics of and distinguish between popular and scholarly peer-reviewed materials, locate scholarly peer-reviewed journal articles utilizing the library databases, describe at least two key differences between Google Scholar and library databases, define the term plagiarism and describe good practices for paraphrasing, and recognize basic characteristics of in-text and reference list citations in APA format. Let's get started. First, to get to the library's resources, you need to get to the library's homepage. I recommend going through your MyFSC account to do this. Go to farmingdale.edu and click MyFSC in the upper right-hand corner of the page. Enter your FSC credentials. Your username will be your email address minus the @farmingdale.edu. Your password will be the same password you use to log into your email, Blackboard, and so on. If you have any difficulty logging into your MyFSC account, try resetting your password. If you still have difficulty, please contact Help Desk at helpdesk@farmingdale.edu. Once you arrive at your account, click Library in the left-hand vertical menu. This will take you to the library homepage. Now, before we begin any of our searches today, we need to talk about the difference between scholarly peer-reviewed publications, which are the sources you've been asked to locate for your assignment, and popular sources like newspapers and magazines. These publications differ in a number of ways, including who they're written for, who they're written by, why they're written, how they are reviewed prior to publication, and how they're disseminated. Authors and audiences. Scholarly publications are typically written by academics or expert practitioners for other academics or other expert practitioners. Popular publications, on the other hand, are typically written by staff writers or freelance writers for the general public. Think People magazine, or enthusiasts in a particular area. Think Guitar magazine. It's important to keep in mind that while the writers may do a thorough job at researching their articles, they are often not experts on the topics about which they are writing, and this may lead to inaccuracies. Now, you might be thinking, I found this article and it's written by an expert with a gazillion degrees. It must be a scholarly article. I hate to burst your bubble, but that's not always the case. Also, it's important to remember that each of these criteria are meant to be considered together. So if you're not sure about the intended audience for an article, examining the content, for instance, will give you a really good idea of what you're working with. We'll get to that in just a moment. Purpose. Scholarly publications exist to disseminate new advancements in knowledge or present important interpretations or investigations into existing knowledge. Popular publications exist to inform non-experts and often to entertain. Now, you might argue that to an extent, all of these resources are meant to be informative, so that's not a very good way to distinguish between them. You're absolutely right. But again, what's important to remember is that all of these categories are meant to be considered together. So when one area seems a little fuzzy, considering the source in light of another category, like content, can often clarify things substantially. Content. The content of scholarly publications differs significantly from popular publications. First, they differ in length. Scholarly publications can run anywhere between 10 to 30 pages, and sometimes even more. Popular resources are often much briefer. Feature-length newspaper stories are rarely longer than a page, and feature-length magazine articles are rarely longer than a few pages. Second, they differ in language. Because scholarly articles are written by scholars for scholars, these articles are often filled with discipline-specific jargon, whereas articles from popular sources use plain, simple language. For example, if I was talking to another librarian, I might say that my pedagogical approach to designing information literacy sessions is informed by the situative perspective. That's jargon. If I were talking to someone who wasn't a librarian, I would just say, when I teach library classes, I make sure students get realistic hands-on experience using library resources in the way they would during the normal course of their research. Third, they differ with regard to citation practice. Scholarly articles are full of citations because scholarship is essentially a conversation that authors have via research and writing. That is, you can't make new discoveries or create new ways of thinking about and doing things until you've fully understood the work that's come before. The only way to do this is reading and citing the work of others. Thus, this is standard practice in academic and expert practitioner communities. Articles from popular publications, however, do not often cite their sources. They might refer to a study or something an expert has said, but it is rare to find a popular source with a full and complete citation list. Review prior to publication. Scholarly and popular publications also differ in terms of the review processes they go through prior to publication. Scholarly publications go through a peer review process, which is extremely rigorous. Articles are submitted to a journal. An editor determines if the article might be a good fit for the journal, and then the editor sends it to 2 or 3 experts in the field who evaluate the soundness of the research, the originality of the topic, and other criteria. These experts provide one of the following recommendations: rejection, major revisions and resubmit, minor revisions and resubmit, or accept. Articles are often rejected and very rarely accepted without revisions. When revisions are requested, an article can go through several rounds of revision before publication, and it can take months or even years before the article gets published. Ultimately, the intention of peer review is to select the highest quality articles and further increase the quality of these works through the feedback and revision cycle. Popular publications, however, go through a very basic editorial review, and not even that sometimes, before they're published. Because the review processes are so limited, there's often limited room for catching errors prior to publication. As a result, you often see retractions, which are reported corrections, in popular publications. Dissemination. Finally, scholarly and popular publications differ in how they're disseminated. Because the peer review process can be lengthy, scholarly publications are published only a few times a year. Many scholarly publications publish on an annual basis only. Because the review process for popular sources is much more basic, these publications appear more frequently. Newspapers are printed daily, while magazines are published weekly or monthly. For a comprehensive overview on this topic, I highly suggest taking a minute to check out the Greenely Library tutorial entitled Understanding Scholarly and Popular Articles. You can click the link here, or you can grab the link in the description below. Now that we've talked about the differences between sources, we need to discuss developing a manageable topic. The most important thing to remember is that research is iterative. You don't pick the topic, find the sources, and then write the paper. Rather, researching, writing, and refining your topic happens at all stages of the process. There are a number of ways you can begin to develop a topic. First, you can use your course resources to investigate a topic you've encountered during class. Or you can utilize the 4Ws method to develop a topic you might already be interested in. Using course resources to conduct an exploratory search begins with the article you're reading in class. Once you've selected your article, there are 2 ways you can locate it in the library's collections if we have it. First, navigate to the library homepage. From here, you can do a search for the article in Primo, our library discovery system. Make sure the search field is enabled to search Primo by clicking FSC Library Catalog. Then enter the title of the article in the search field, and then click Search. When you see your article in the result list, click it. This will take you to a record for the item. The record is a great resource because in addition to accessing the actual article, you can use the linked subject categories to search Primo for similar materials. For example, if we click Bystander Intervention, we'll see everything in Primo that's categorized as being about bystander intervention. To access the article, click the link in the View Online section of the record. But what if you want to find material cited in the article? You can go through the same process to find the cited article if the library provides access to it. You can also search for it by looking up the journal in which it is published. Let's take this citation for example. The first part of the citation is the author or authors. This is followed by the year in which the article was published, which is followed by the title of the article, which is followed by the journal in which the article was published, which is followed by the volume and issue of the journal in which the article was published. And finally, that's followed by the pages on which it appeared. We're going to use all of this information to help us find this article. Again, we'll start at the library homepage. This time, we'll click Journals A to Z under the main search field. We'll type in the name of the journal and click Search. When we see our journal, we'll click it. This will take us to a record for the journal. Then we'll click the link in the View Online section of the record for the journal. This will take us to the database in which the journal is located. On the right-hand side of the screen, you'll see a list of years. We'll click the year that corresponds to our citation, and then the volume and issue that corresponds to our citation. Then, all we have to do is scroll down until we find our article in that particular issue. We'll click the title to access the article, which, if available, will be on the left side of the page. If you already have a topic in mind, you may also want to use the 4 W's to help you refine your topic further. This will not only give your topic a more streamlined focus, but it will also help you generate keywords for your search. Start with the topic in which you're interested. Let's say you're interested in cyberbullying. The first W stands for who. On whom will you focus? Cyberbullying occurs in many different settings and many different populations. Focusing on a specific population will help you narrow your search. In this case, we're going to focus on teenagers. The second W stands for what. What is it specifically that you want to write about in relation to this topic? In this case, let's say we're interested in the impact of cyberbullying on mental health. So mental health would be the what of our topic. The third W stands for where. Where asks you to define the context of the topic. In our case, our boundaries could be defined by a particular area of the web, for example, cyberbullying that happens on Instagram, or geographically. For example, cyberbullying which takes place within the United States. We'll stick with United States as our where. The final W stands for when. Depending on your topic, you may want to explore a topic through the lens of a specific time period, or you might want to review only the most current research on a topic. We'll limit ourselves to research published within the last 5 years. Voila, we have a topic. The impact of cyberbullying on mental health in the United States. Now you might notice that we didn't use the who component of the 4 W's in our topic. While going through all of the 4 W's when thinking about a topic is helpful, you don't need to use all of them. However, you might find as you research that your initial topic is too broad. If that's the case, you can add those unused W's back in to help you narrow your topic further. But we're not done yet. We need to lay the foundation for our search by generating keywords. Good keywords are the secret to quick and efficient searches. So here's what you need to do. Start with your topic or research question. So, the impact of cyberbullying on mental health in the United States. In order to search effectively, I need to break this topic into keywords, because if I plug in my topic as is, the database won't understand what I want. We're going to start by brainstorming all the possible terms we could use to search for this topic. This is because sometimes different authors use different words to describe the same ideas and concepts, so we want to have plenty of terms to work with in case our searches aren't returning the kinds of results we're looking for. We'll start with cyberbullying. What are some of the other terms we could use to describe this idea? Feel free to pause this video and jot down some ideas. We could also use online bullying, or virtual bullying, or internet bullying, or online harassment, or internet harassment. Next, we'll consider mental health. What are some other terms we could use to describe this idea? Again, feel free to pause the video and jot down some ideas. We could also use emotional health, or mental wellness, or mental well-being. Finally, we have United States. We'll just leave that as is. Great! Now we have a nice list of keywords from which to draw, so we'll begin by searching for books and ebooks. First, navigate to the library homepage. In the center of the library homepage, you'll see a search field. Under the search field, you'll see a horizontal menu. In this menu, you'll click Books and eBooks. Now you'll type in your keywords along with the corresponding Boolean operator. Boolean operators consist of and, or, and not, and they tell the database what you want the database to do with your keywords. In this case, I want to perform a simple search that returns results with keywords from each of those groups I brainstormed earlier. So I will type in cyberbullying and teenagers and mental health, just to get started. Putting and between each of these terms tells the catalog that I want only those books and ebooks that have each of these three words somewhere in the catalog record for the item, which is basically a detailed description of the book or ebook. Once we have our initial search, we'll want to refine it further to ensure that we're only getting books and ebooks. To do this, we'll go to the menu of limiters on the left side of the page. We'll expand material type and select books. This will return results that are available in our physical collection and our online collection. If you want to limit to ebooks only, expand availability and click Available Online. When you see an ebook that you'd like to access, just click the title. This will take you to the record for the item. From the record, you can do several things. First, you can generate a citation in MLA, APA, Chicago Turabian, or Harvard formats. Just remember that this is a computer-generated citation and that there may be an error or two, so it's always best to double-check your citation against a style guide to be sure that it's correct before handing in your research project. You can also email yourself a copy of the record to remind yourself to return to it later, or if you've logged into your account, you can click the pin to add it to your favorites. To view an ebook, you'll click the link under View Online and Full Text Availability to access the volume. Once you've located relevant books and ebooks, you'll want to begin your search for journal articles. Now, you might be wondering why we can't just go and Google everything. We're going to go through searching the databases first, and then we'll do a Google search and compare our final searches, and I promise it'll be clear why the database should be your go-to resource. We'll look at two multidisciplinary databases today, Academic Search Complete and ProQuest Research Library. To get to the databases, you'll start at the library homepage. Click Databases under the search field. This will take you to our A to Z listing of databases. If we scroll down just a bit, we can see that Academic Search Complete is at the top of the list because it begins with A. Click Academic Search Complete to access the database. If you are off campus, you may be prompted to enter your Farmingdale State College credentials. If you have any difficulty accessing these resources off campus, please email reference@farmingdale.edu immediately. Once in the database, you will see your advanced search options. From here, you'll begin by entering your keywords. We could enter the same simple Boolean search we used for books and ebooks, or we could perform a more advanced search. Let's try a more advanced search incorporating the OR Boolean operator. The OR operator is used with similar terms to expand your search. In the first field, we'll enter cyberbullying or internet bullying or online bullying. In the second field, we'll enter mental health or mental wellness or mental well-being. In the third field, we'll enter United States. When I format my search like this, I'm telling the database that I will take any of the terms in the first search field combined with any of the terms in the second search field combined with terms in the third search field. Then we'll press search. We get quite a few results, so we'll want to filter our results using our limiters. Under Limit 2, we'll limit to full text. It's important to remember that the library does not subscribe to everything that might be part of a given database, so this filter will ensure that you're only getting those results to which the library can provide access. Next, you'll click Scholarly Peer-Reviewed Journals. This will ensure that the articles returned in your search are from peer-reviewed journals. If you're not familiar with peer-reviewed journals, click the link in the description below for a quick and helpful video on this topic. Since I only want to look at the most recent research, I'll use the date limiter to filter my results to only those articles which were published from 2015 to 2020. You'll also want to click Academic Journals under Source Types. Now, you could use these limiters and stop here and begin to browse, But if you feel you still have too many results, try using the Subject Thesaurus filter. Just expand the filter if it's closed and click Show More. I suggest alphabetizing the list to make browsing easier. Once you have alphabetized your list, you can go through and select topics that you would like to see addressed in your results and click Update. As you can see, this reduces your results. Before we review our results, I want to point out a helpful feature. The Share button is important in that it will allow you to save your search as is by generating a permalink. This is important for two reasons. First, if you conduct your search but don't have time to finish looking through all your results, you can bookmark the link generated by the Share button and pick up where you left off at any time. Second, I'm going to ask you to show me your search in a class exercise, so you'll need to use the Share button to generate the link that the exercise is asking for. When you're ready to look at an article in your list, click the title. On the left-hand side of the screen, you will see your options for accessing the article. In the center of the page, you will see more information about the article. This can be helpful for a number of reasons. First, the database provides the terms under which the article has been indexed. We can click these linked terms to see all of the materials in the database organized under these terms. Or we can use these terms to conduct a new, more targeted search. For instance, we can copy the key terms in the search field and set the drop-down menu to Subject. This will allow us to search only subject sections of each record in the database. Second, most records provide an abstract of the article. This will give you a brief overview of what the article is about, so you can determine if it is relevant to your project or not. Finally, on the right-hand side of the page, you'll see a number of tools. We won't go over all of them, but you can use the Google Drive tool to send a copy of the article to your Google Drive account, the email tool to email yourself a copy of the article, the Cite tool to generate a citation for the article. Again, check the accuracy of the citation before handing in your project, and the permalink tool. The permalink is important for two reasons. First, the link in the address bar expires, so you must use the permalink in order to return to this page. Second, it's important because I'll be asking you in a class exercise to provide the permalink to an article that you've selected. The next database you'll want to try is ProQuest Research Library. Even though ProQuest Research Library looks a little different from Academic Search Complete, the same strategies will work in this database. To get to ProQuest Research Library, again, you'll start at the library homepage. Click Databases under the search field. This will take you to our A to Z listing of databases. ProQuest Research Library is a little further down the list, so use the search field in the right-hand corner to get to ProQuest Research Library quickly. Just type in ProQuest and you'll see the database appear in the A to Z list. You'll arrive on the Advanced Search page. In this field, we'll enter cyberbullying or internet bullying or online bullying. In the second field, we'll enter mental health or mental wellness or mental well-being. We have more keywords, so we'll click Add a Row. In the third field, we'll enter United States. Then we'll select Full Text and Peer Reviewed. Again, if you're not familiar with peer-reviewed journals, click the link in the description below for a quick and helpful video on this topic. To narrow down our result list, we'll use our limiters. Since I only want to look at the most recent research, I'll use the date limiter to filter my results to only those articles which were published between 2015 and 2020. Then, under source type, I'll click Scholarly Journals. Now, you could use these limiters and stop here and begin to browse, but if you feel you still have too many results, try using the subject filter. Just expand the filter if it's closed and click More. I suggest alphabetizing the list to make it easier to browse. Once you have an alphabetized list, you can go through and select topics you would like to see addressed in your result list and click Update. As you can see, this reduces your result list. If you're unhappy with the way you've filtered a search, you can always click Clear All Filters under Applied Filters, or you can remove an individual term or filter by clicking the little X next to it. Before we review our results, I want to point out a helpful feature. The Save Search Alert button is important in that it will allow you to save your search as is by generating a permalink. Just click Save Search Alert, click Get Search Link, and copy the generated link. This is important for two reasons. First, if you conduct your search but don't have time to finish looking through your results, you can bookmark the link generated by the Save Search Alert button and pick up where you left off at any time. Second, I'm going to ask you to show me your search in a class exercise. You'll need to use the Save Search Alert button to generate the link that the exercise is asking for. When you're ready to look at an article in your list, click the title. At the top of the article, you'll see a menu of tabs. Click Full Text PDF to read the article as a PDF if available. Click Abstract Details to view more information about the article, including a brief abstract. On the upper right side of the page, you will see several buttons which provide you with extra tools. You can use these buttons to download the PDF, email yourself a copy of the article, print the article, or generate a citation for the article. To generate a citation, click Cite. Then select your preferred citation style from the drop-down menu. Your style will be generated based on this selection. You can copy and paste the resulting citation into your reference list. However, you should be sure to check a style guide to correct any errors in the generated citation before handing in your assignment. To obtain the permalink to the article, click All Options. Click the permalink to copy. The permalink is important for two reasons. First, the link in the address bar expires, so you must use the permalink in order to return to this page. Second, it's important because I'll be asking you in a class exercise to provide the permalink to an article you've selected. As you scroll down the page, you will also be given a list of items topically related to the item you're currently viewing. Just click the items in the list to access them. You will also have the option to create a new search from the subject terms under which the article you are currently viewing is indexed. Select the terms you wish to include, click Search, and refine your search using your limiters. Now, as I said before, you might be wondering why it is you can't just Google everything. First, Google might pick up on an article, but it can't give you access to it if it's paywalled. Information is big business, and databases and journals cost a lot of money to produce. Publishers aren't just giving this information away, which is why you need to go through your library. Your library pays for access to this material on your behalf. Second, Google Scholar is not a database. Just like regular Google, it's a search engine, and that means you have very few options for limiting your search. So it might be quick up front, but you're going to have to spend far more time sorting through irrelevant results. Now that we've discussed finding sources, we need to discuss citing sources. Failure to cite often results in plagiarism, which is presenting another's words, ideas, or research as your own. Fortunately, the easiest way to avoid plagiarism is to properly quote, paraphrase, and cite your sources. Direct excerpts should be surrounded by quotation marks and followed by an in-text citation. Make it clear to the reader how the quote connects to your work. Putting another author's words, research, or ideas into your own words is paraphrasing. Like a quote, this requires an in-text citation. In-text citations follow the author, year format. Parenthetical citations can be used if you're not referencing the author or authors as part of a sentence. If you're referring to the author or authors as part of the sentence, you'll use the same format, except only the year will be contained within parentheses. Now, the database citation generators I've shown you are really helpful, but there's often one or two mistakes, so you will briefly go over the format for citing books and journal articles in your reference list. A journal article citation will follow this format: author's last name, first initial period, the year of publication in parentheses followed by a period, the title of the article followed by a period, the title of the journal, which is italicized, followed by a comma, followed by the volume in which the article was published, which is also italicized, followed by the issue, in parentheses, followed by a comma, followed by the page numbers on which the article appeared. A book citation will follow this format: author's last name, first initial, period, the year in which the book was published, in parentheses, followed by a period, the title of the book, followed by a period, and the publisher, followed by a period. If you need assistance, please know that the librarians are here to help you. While the library will be open for the fall semester, please check the library homepage for the latest information if you intend to use the facilities. Please be advised that if you visit the library, you will be required to wear a face covering for the duration of your visit. Our hours are posted on the right side of the page. Again, please check our hours before visiting as they may change due to adjusted COVID-19 related protocols and holiday closings. You can get in touch with us virtually by emailing reference@farmingdale.edu or by using the Ask a Librarian form on our homepage. You can find this form right under our hours. Just click it and fill out the requested information. Finally, please take advantage of the resources we have assembled just for you. These can be located in the center of the page, just below our main header. I highly recommend checking out our library help videos. Here you'll not only find video tutorials to help you search our most popular databases, but you'll also find step-by-step video instructions for formatting citations in APA and MLA styles. Thank you for watching. Again, if you have any questions, a librarian is able to assist you.